It's been a full year out testing backpacking gear, and I'm ready to share what I think is the best gear in all of the main categories. Which of the 60 sleeping pads I tested are the best, which of the 50 packs stand out, and even which sleeping pad pump is the #1 option you should consider. I spent 100 days in the cold, rain, and wind so I can give out the 2025 Backpacking Gear Awards. This is one of my favorite videos to make because I love gear. It's literally why I started this channel, because I couldn't stop talking about it. So let's jump into it with the very first category. The first category is the Best Backpack Award, and the winner goes to the Durston Kakwa 55 Ultra Grid version. And there's 3 reasons why the Kakwa stands out relative to all the other packs on the market. The first is that it's insanely light for the price. For the Ultra Grid version, it only costs $200. That's why I picked it over the Ultra X version, and it weighs 870 grams, which puts it pretty much into the ultralight category. For that weight, you have amazing capacity and carrying ability as well. You can carry a ton of stuff in this pack, and it's going to carry the weight very comfortably. And then the third thing is reliability and durability. Durston makes very good packs. They're going to hold up to some abuse, and they're going to be able to last a long time. There's some updates with the 2026 version of the Kakwa 55. First of all, it comes in this very awesome color if you choose the Ultra Grid. I love this edition. You also get a little bit more capacity with the pack, so it holds a little bit more stuff inside. And then you get a lumbar pad as part of the hip belt here, which is going to be very helpful for comfort. All that while also lowering the weight of the pack just really solidifies this pack as the best one on the market. The second Best Backpack Award goes to the REI Flash 55. At 1,300 grams, it's quite a bit heavier than the Kakwa 55, but it's the way to go if you really want a feature-rich pack that can carry a phenomenal amount of weight. For the weight penalty with the REI Flash 55, you get an adjustable torso as well as a really burly frame and stiff foam that's going to transfer weight down your hips and allow you to carry weight really well. The adjustable torso is very important because having a dialed in fit for your pack is really going to help when carrying weight. With the Flash 55, you also get the benefit of one of my favorite features on a pack ever, and that's these pockets that sit in front of the side pockets that are dedicated for water bottles. You can put water in those side pockets and then really easily reach back, grab your water, take a sip, put it back. You're not having to contort into different positions or ask a friend to help you out. Not only is it easier to get water, but then it also leaves your side pockets open for gear. If you're interested in any of the gear that we're looking at today, I'll have links to all of it down in the video description. I get a small commission if you buy anything at the store at no extra cost to you, but it does really help out the channel. For the Best Sleeping Pad Award, we have the Xped Megamat Ultra, arguably the most comfortable sleeping pad on the market. But what tips it over the edge compared to the Neoloft, which is its main competition, is that it feels a little bit more supportive when you're laying on it. Not quite as much like you're laying on a balloon. But it's still very thick like the Neoloft and uses a stretchy top material, but then has the added benefit that it comes in a 30-inch wide version as well, which the Neoloft does not. That being said, I do think some people are going to find the Neoloft more comfortable than the Megamat Ultra. So if you do prioritize comfort, then definitely consider either the Neoloft or the Megamat Ultra. I do think the Neoloft is going to be more comfortable for a lot of people out there. You just have to deal with the trade-offs. But if comfort is your priority, then you can't go wrong with either the Neoloft or the Megamat Ultra. I want to give an honorable mention to the REI Helix. It's very comfortable, one of the most comfortable pads that I've ever used, but is significantly lighter weight and more compact than the Megamat Ultra and the Neoloft. It's not quite as comfortable as those other 2 pads, but it's my personal favorite pad and the one that I bring on the majority of my trips. For the award for the Best Sleep Installation, we have Zenbivy. I originally wrote off Zenbivy because I thought it was gimmicky, and the first time I tried it, it was fiddly enough that it just wasn't for me. But with some small tweaks and improvements to the system over the years, I now think a Zenbivy bed with the sheet that attaches to your pad and then a quilt that then attaches to the sheet is the best system for comfort. It allows you to toss and turn under the quilt just like you would a blanket at home, but then the way the quilt attaches to the sleeping pad with these overlapping panels here really helps keep drafts out and keeps you nice and toasty warm. You can get a bunch of different options of this quilt and sheet system depending on how much you want to trade weight for price. I have here the ultralight version, and it's pretty crazy how lightweight it is for everything that you get. Rounding out the sleep system, we have the award for the best pillow. If you're using a Zenbivy, then just use their soft top pillow. It's extremely comfortable and integrates with their sleep system really well. But if you're not using that, then I think the Xped Mega Pillow is the best pillow on the market for 3 reasons. The first is the size of the pillow. It's really big and it's tall. The height of the pillow is really nice for side sleepers. And then the width is just really nice when you're sleeping on a pad. Basically takes up the entire width of a pad, which is nice for not falling off of the pillow. It also has a must-have pillow feature, which is a way to attach it to your sleeping pad. You just tie a piece of shot cord onto the loops on either side of the pillow, and you can wrap that shot cord around your sleeping pad. Third, it's a very supportive pillow. You don't really feel like you're laying on a balloon when you're laying on it. It just feels really, really nice to lay on. Combine all that with the fact that it has a nice soft pillowcase, makes it, the best pillow on the market. If the Mega Pillow is a little bit out of your price range or you want to save some weight, then the Trekology 2.0 is an amazing pillow as well. It's quite a bit lighter weight, under 100 grams, and then is a lot less expensive. It's only about $20, sometimes less if you can get it on sale. And then it comes with a pad strap, which again, must have for a pillow in my opinion. Next up, we have the award for the best solo tent. And if you follow the channel, you know what the winner of this category is going to be. It's the tent that has been my go-to for basically every type of trip that I've done in the last year, and is potentially my favorite tent of all time. It's the Durston X-Dome 1 Plus, and this tent basically does everything right. It's very light at under 1 kilogram, extremely storm-worthy. I would not be surprised if this tent could handle 100 km/h winds, even though I haven't had a chance to test it out at that yet. It's maxed out at about 70 km/h. It's very roomy on the inside. You have a little bit of extra room next to your sleeping pad in order to store gear. It has a ton of other awesome features, is made with great materials, and then is reasonably priced at $370. Unless someone is trying to go as ultralight as possible with a DCF trekking pole tent, ultralight gear awards coming soon, then the X-Dome 1 Plus is the one-person tent that I recommend. For the best two-person tent award, I have 3 different winners in this category. The first winner is for basically the best all-around two-person tent. It's the Durston X-Dome 2. For basically all the same reasons as the X-Dome 1 Plus, it's just a little bit less storm-worthy and can fit 2 25-inch wide pads in it, making it a two-person tent instead of a one-person tent. The X-Dome 2 has a lot more competition from some pretty solid tents, but it is the tent that I think is the best all-around two-person tent on the market. If you need something a little bit more storm-worthy and are willing to sacrifice some weight, then the Tarp Tent Arc Dome is an amazing tent. I've had this in some really strong winds. It's made with great materials and is designed to handle some pretty crazy conditions. But when you get this tent set up, it feels rock solid. It doesn't really move or seem to be affected by wind. And even though it's a little bit heavier than the X-Dome 2, it's still a very respectable weight and lighter than basically any other more lightweight considered tent from about 10 years ago. If you're looking for something that's maybe a little bit lighter weight or you're looking for a lower price, then the Durston X-Mid 2 trekking pole tent is one of the best tents ever made, I think. It really changed the game with ultralight tents by making trekking pole tents a little bit more approachable. It's roomy on the inside, it has a double wall construction, and then uses sill poly material which doesn't sag or stretch when wet. This tent really does it all, and if you can wrap your head around using trekking poles, then it's, I think, the best option on the market. Next up, we have the award for the best cook system, and it goes to the Fire Maple pot stove combo of the Petrol Pot and the Green Peak stove. This system has a lot going for it. You can nest the stove and a fuel canister inside the pot and then use the handle in order to keep it all together. You have a really wide burner on the Green Peak stove with a little lip in order to provide some wind protection, and then a heat exchanger on the pot which provides even more wind protection and then helps with heat transfer into the water of the pot. So with this combination, you get really efficient and quick boil times, even if it is kind of windy out. And you get all that at a weight of only 247 grams. So not the most ultralight option out there, but still a pretty respectable weight. And it only costs $50 for both the pot and the stove, which is kind of crazy. The MSR wind burner is another option, but much more expensive. The benefits with the wind burner is you get even better wind performance, which is kind of crazy. It also is a lot quieter because of the radiant burner that it uses and a little bit more efficient. It's an all-in-one system that is really a treat to use. It's just an amazing all-in-one stove, but the price tag does make me cringe a little bit. For the winner of the best filter category, we have the Platypus Quick Draw. This has been the most reliable filter for me for years. I've had both Sawyers and Beefreeze clog up on me at inopportune times, but never the Quick Draw. I also really like that the caps on either end can seal it up so you can put in your sleeping bag if temperatures are expected to get down below freezing, and the filter speed of the Quick Draw is amazing as well. For the best headlamp award, we have the Nitecore NU20 Classic. It's light, rechargeable, inexpensive, and relatively powerful. I love that the NU20 Classic uses a USB-C port in order to recharge. It also has 2 buttons on the top, one for white light, one for red light. I hate when headlamps use just one button in order to control everything. And it's just a very lightweight headlamp, which is amazing. There's some other brands that are making headlamps that are starting to compete with what Nitecore has on offer, but all of them cost a lot more money. For the best SOS and satellite communicating device, we have the Garmin InReach Messenger Plus. I've tested the built-in options on Google phones and iPhones, and I found that they're just slow to work, unreliable, and not something that I'm going to trust with my life. The InReach Messenger is bomb-proof, has tons of battery life, and can operate as a standalone device while also being a lot more reliable than the competition. I love that with the InReach Messenger Plus, you can also send and receive pictures, which has made my time in the backcountry just a little bit more fun because I can share with my family back at home. InReaches are expensive between the subscription and the hardware costs, but they're worth it for me, and there's a lot of good rental options out there as well that you should consider. For the best battery bank award, we have the Victomix 10,000 milliamp hour battery. This thing is light, inexpensive, works well. It has 3 different ports on here. You have a micro USB, USB-C, and a USB-A, and then a little screen on the front for seeing how much battery is left inside of it. The one downside with this is that it doesn't have 2 USB-C ports. With everything basically being USB-C these days, you don't really need a micro USB or a USB-A, I don't think. There's lighter weight options on the market, but they cost a lot more, and none of them come in this really cool purple color. For the best sleeping pad pump award, this one kind of caught me by surprise this year. It's the AeroGogo Giga Air Pump, and when it was first released, I thought it looked a little bit cheaply made, and it was listed originally at a very, very high price. But the price has since come down to $45, and I've managed to test it quite a bit, and I have to say I'm impressed. It's quite powerful for its weight, capable of inflating basically all of my biggest sleeping pads quickly. It's not annoyingly loud, and is pretty light at 35.6 grams. It does need an external battery to achieve that weight and isn't as light as the Alpenglow or the PadPal, but I think it's currently the best pump option unless you really need a built-in battery. If you do, then just get the FlexTail Max Pump 3. This thing is insanely powerful. It's what I use to inflate my pack rafts. It has a built-in lantern in it and then a pretty big battery as well. For trips over the last year, it's probably split about 50-50 for whether I brought the Max Pump 3 or the Giga Air. They're both awesome pumps. Next up, we have the best trowel award. For me, a trowel needs to accomplish 3 things. It needs to be light, it needs to be able to cut through roots, and it needs to be comfortable in the hand, especially if I really need to push on it in order to get it into the ground. And the winner is the Bogler trowel. It achieves this by having serrated edges on both sides in order to cut through roots. It's made with a very thin aluminum, so it's very lightweight, yet still quite sturdy, and then has a crazy ergonomic grip that is really well designed, and then a little nubbin on top if you need to push onto it. And at only 13 grams, the Bogler trowel has been by far the best trowel for years. For the best chair award, we have the REI FlexLite Air. This chair doesn't get brought up nearly as much as the Helinox Chair Zero when it comes to lightweight chairs that weigh around a pound, but I think it's better because it's both lighter weight and it's less expensive. It may be a little bit less comfortable for some people and is a little bit wobblier than the competition, but is an insane value, and for that reason, it gets the best chair award. If you're willing to pay a higher price and want something that's fully featured, then the Nemo Moonlight Elite is that option. It's a fully featured lightweight chair with the case that doubles as a footprint when you're using it on sand or soft ground, and a recline mode for when you really want to relax. This has been my go-to chair for a couple years now, mostly because of how useful having a footprint with the chair is when you're on softer ground. For the best down jacket award, we have the Decathlon MT100. It seems like every month this thing is going up in price in the US, but or everywhere else in the world, it's still a pretty reasonable price. I think it's like $80 in Canada here. And because of that low price in most of the world, still in the US a little bit too, and the fact that it is very lightweight, performs well, nice and warm, quite durable, this jacket gets the award. I have a few bonus categories that are semi-gear related, but definitely backpacking related. Starting off with my favorite food, we have the Peak Refuel Chicken Pesto Pasta. It's cheesy, tasty, has a ton of calories, and has been my favorite meal for a few years now. Then we have the award for the best item in order to help you crush miles, and the award goes to Lem's Shoes. They recently became a sponsor of the channel, but I've been using them for years. I attribute the fact that I never have sore feet or foot pain anymore, even after spending all day on my feet or hiking big miles, almost entirely to using Lem's as my go-to shoe. They're a minimalist shoe that allows your foot to operate naturally and strengthen without any major cushion or support. Definitely ease into using minimalist shoes, but I can't recommend them enough. My personal favorite is the Chelsea boot that I have here, as well as their Primal Zens, which are more of a running / day-to-day shoe. In line with shoes, the award for the best training gear goes to Bells of Steel. They make really affordable yet quality training gear. I have a full gym basically in my guest bedroom where I have a full squat rack, kettlebell, pulley system, and it all costs a very reasonable price, yet has been phenomenal when it comes to quality. Strength training is not only good for your backpacking and hiking, but also your general overall health. And then for the best car award, I recently sold my 2005 Subaru Outback. That car had taken me a lot of places across the continent multiple times on ski trips, backpacking trips, tons of experiences with that car. But it was about time that I got something a little bit more reliable and a little bit safer now that I have baby Josie. And the car that I went with, the Subaru Outback. But I got the 2025 Outback Wilderness Edition. The price is quite low, and then you get all-wheel drive, a ton of room inside, and then a multitude of safety features. It's one of the safest vehicles on the market. I have it paired with a Thule roof box, which has been essential on some of the trips I've gone with my family, where we took Josie out for her first camping trip and had to load basically the entire car and the roof box with stuff in order to keep everyone happy and comfortable. And now for the final awards for the gold, silver, and bronze overall winners of the 2025 Backpacking Gear Awards. For gold, we have the ZenBivy sleep system. ZenBivy's been revolutionizing sleep, and I would not be surprised if it became the most popular option for the majority of backpackers out there. For silver, we have the X-Dome 1 Plus. If you're a solo backpacker, I think it's the tent to get. There's not really anything else on the market that's going to compete on performance, price, and weight. And then in bronze, we have the Aerogogo Giga Air Pump. I was pleasantly surprised with how my mind changed on this pump. It went from being something that I thought was going to be garbage to something that is now my go-to pump on the majority of my trips. Go check out this video if you want to see all of the best down jackets. I go over the best down jackets for a bunch of different uses, the best ultralight down jacket, the best jacket for winter, as well as the best down jacket that's affordable. I go through them all and explain why I think each of them is the best in each of those categories.